Okay, July 12th, 2022. Tum Mercurius, then Mercury, qui semper, who always ingenio eius delectatus esset. That's pluperfect. So he always delighted in his inborn talents, or it's basically his natural ability, but it can mean talents here. Unam e tribus, one from the three, Parcis, of the Fates, se ducit. Se means separated, so he led one aside of the three and said, Quid, that's what or why, femina crudelissima, superlative, most cruel woman, probably an vocative, hominum miserum, these are accusatives in apposition, torquere patiris, so that's probably why, most cruel woman, are you allowing this wretched man to be tortured? Nec umquam is your adverb, so neither, never, for so long, tam due, past passive, cruciatus, so you know it's male and nominative, so that should be stopped or halt. So it's subjunctive as well, so it's more like after so long of him being tortured, isn't he ever going to get any rest, or aren't you going to cease? The T there means it's the him, so he being tortured, shouldn't he get a break, basically? Annus, nominative, sexagesimus et quartus est. It's been 64 years, ex quo, from which, we'll say, when cum anima luctator, that's a deponent, so it's been 64 years since he was wrestling with breath, so he started breathing, basically. Quid huic et republicae invidies. So what to him in the Republic do you envy, or do you begrudge him? Patere, imperative. So allow mathematicos, these are the astrologers, aliquando virum dicere, to say the truth. Who him, ex quo princeps actus est, him from when he was made the emperor, omnibus annos, that's the plaintiffs, in all years, these will be the astrologers, in all years and all months, efferent, they bore him, or they might have raised him up. Et tamen, and yet, non est mirum, it's not a wonder, if errant, if they were wrong, and oram eus nemo novit, and no one knows his hour. This will be the hour of his death, I guess. Nemo nominative enim, for no one ever illum natum pudavit. So, for no one was ever thinking that he was born illum natum. Fac, imperative, do quod faciendum est, gerund. So do what must happen, what must be done. Dede neci melior vacua sine regnet in aula. This is a quote from Virgil. So give him to be killed. It is better melior. Sine usually takes an ablative, but we've got vacua and aula, the empty court. It's better that should I put it literally or not? It's better without him ruling, but let someone who is better rule in his empty court. Said Clotho, inquit, but Clotho said, I, by Hercules, pusillum temporis adicere illi to him volabam. I wanted to give to him a little time. Dum hos porculos, plural accusatives, while those few, diminutive, who were still remaining, donaret. He will give them citizenship. In brackets, constituerat enim, for he decided omnes Grecos, all the Greeks, all the Gauls, the Hispanics of Spain, in the Britannos, and it's pretty obvious, it's the Britons. Togatos videre. You can see the OS ending here lines up with that. So he decided to see that all of these Greeks, Gauls, Hispanics, and Britons became toga-clad. Said Quonium, but since it was pleasing, we'll say for now, aliquos peregrinos, that some foreigners in semen, in with the accusative, relinqui. Someone would be left to go to seed so that they would stay as outsiders, they wouldn't become Romans. And two, ita, thus, and what you order to become, fiat, it will become. That's pretty obvious as well. So this is the fates talking. Aperit then a capsulum, which is a small box. She then opened the box and proferred and brought forwards tres fusos. These are the spindles because the fates weave the fates. Okay, unus erat augurini, it's a Roman cognomen. And they're using the genitives here. There's one for this bloke, another for Babe, and a Tertius, the third for Claudius. And it continues on. Hos inquit. These, she said, 3 ablatives in 1 year. Exiguus intervallus temporum genitive divisus. Morai ubabo. That's a future. So in 1 year, divided into exiguus as small intervals of time, I shall order to die. Nec illum, and neither shall he incomitatum dimittim. Neither will I send him off unaccompanied. Non oportet, that's an impersonal. So it's not fitting, or there ought not for him. Who modo say, that's reflexive. So many thousands of men sequentia, that's following, he was seeing him, who was seeing merely or only thousands of men following, taught the same amount preceding him, taught, it's millia again, so the same amount, 1,000 circumfuse, all flowing around him. Suddenly, solum, suddenly alone, destitui, he'd be deserted, he'd be alone. Contentus erit, future, his interim, meanwhile, convictoribus. Yeah, so meanwhile, he should be content with these convictoribuses, and which means friends or companions. I even have a set up here. Convictors, a messmate, friend, companion. There we go. Section 4. Hegate, with these things said, and terpi convolvens, that's a nominative participle. So she's turning around, terpi stamino fuso. It's a neuter for stamen, which is it's like the distaff, which you use for weaving with. So it's a foul thread, really, which is turning around. And abrupit, she broke off. Stolide regalia tempora vitae. Yep. So the thread was wrapped around the spindle. And stolide means stupid. Regalia tempora. Broke off the time. That's dative or genitive. Basically, she cut off the lifetime of this stupid royal idiot. At lachesis redemina comas ornata capillos. Yeah, so Laches was the fate who allots time. This is a participle, and that's an adjective. So with a hair encircled, basically, and they call it a lox, ornate or decorated and honoured. Piera crinem loro frontumque and clitic coronans. So the crinum's a hair again, with these piera laurel, that's the top of laurel, it's obviously a proper noun, and a forehead frontam, coronans, that's crowned basically. Okay, candida subtemina, that's yarn as well. Plucked de nivio from the snow, there's this white yarn, sumit taken up, felici menu with a lucky hand, this looks gerundive, moderated, or its length is measured. Quae ducta, which led along or pulled along. Colorum assumpsere novum. It assumes a new colour. I won't spend too much time on it. Maranta pensa, which is also used for homework, but it's the amount of wool that has to be done. The sisters, in wonder at this work, basically, mutator, Vilus pretiosa lana metallo. The I was read the rest of it. Oreo formosa descendant sacula philo. So that's the thread again. So Formoso is a beautiful, as you know, and it's changed from to an expensive metal, from a cheap wool to an expensive metal, pretioso metallo. It descends in this golden age. It descends with a beautiful or handsome thread to this it descends to this golden age. Nec modus est illis, felicia velera ducunt, et gaudent implere manos sunt dulcia pensa. So nec modus, neither is there an end or a limit, est illis to them, felicia velera. Yeah, these aren't words you commonly see, but this is lucky or happy. The happy wool, ducunt, they draw it on, and they rejoice to fill their hands. This is a sweet work, or very pleasing. That'll do for the day.